Today is Thursday, May 12th, 2022, also known as 7 years since I began this YouTube journey, and technically, as the story goes, I had 4 videos in September of 2014, and that, in a way, is when the channel started, but I never consider that the beginning because after that I ended up quitting for a couple of months, basically due to the fact that I realized I couldn't keep up with the internet at my parents', and eventually ended up finding a big non-typical in Hunter Classic. I had the recording software from making those 4 videos in the previous year, and I just decided to record it, and for whatever reason ended up sticking with it, and here we are all these years later, continuing to do it, and back at the Bear Barrel, which we have done every single kind of yearly anniversary video, except for the second one. Actually, oddly enough, we went to Vaudebois for a brown bear barrel hunt for that one, but I like to come back here. It's basically become a tradition at this point, and it's always cool to just kind of talk about everything from, in a broader sense, the whole 7 years, and also just the last year. And as per usual, I want to start off by thanking everyone for watching, whether this is the first video you've seen on this channel, or if you've seen literally all of them, and I think I just saw it at 1,930 something videos, almost 2,000 videos, we'll hit that this year. That is an insane amount of content, not to mention the live streams, which of course also are a thing that, at this point, having been doing them for a little over 4 years, there's probably a couple hundred of them as well, so it's been a lot of content, and for those of you that have been here through all of it, I really appreciate it. And again, if you're just here for, if this is your first video, I appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. But as I always do, I went back and watched the 6 years on YouTube video and the 1 year on YouTube video, just to kind of put things into perspective for myself and kind of gain a sense of what was going on at this time last year and all that sort of stuff. And I know I talked about this a bit last year, but I used to mention like yearly goals in these videos, particularly like say year 2 or year 3. I would talk about, by December 31st, I'm hoping the channel hits X number of subscribers. And when I started, the goals on the channel were a little bit different. Like, I wanted to just share cool kills in the Hunter Classic. I mean, go back to the non-typical whitetail that I referenced there that kind of got things started. I just wanted to make a video showing that, and basically any time that I'd be hunting over a hog feeder and find a big hog or whatever it was, just wanting to share those cool kills. And I do specifically remember kind of like hoping or aspiring to maybe eventually have the biggest The Hunter Classic channel. Of course, back then just called The Hunter, but that was a very different thing back then. In order to have the biggest channel focused on The Hunter, you would have needed about 8.5, maybe 9,000 subscribers. There were some other bigger channels that played The Hunter, but they weren't The Hunter focused. And it really was the release of The Hunter Call of the Wild that kind of blew things up. And, that's where the community really took off. But that was kind of like the humble beginnings goals, like maybe one day 10k subs. I'll never forget as well. Around that time frames when Draw My Life videos were fairly popular, and I was sitting there, watching the channel and the community get closer and closer to 10k, and normally Draw My Life for other creators was either 100k or a million. And only doing the Hunter Classic, basically, I didn't see any way ever that would happen. So I genuinely considered doing a Draw My Life video back then. I don't think anybody does them anymore, but as we sit at I think 326,000 subscribers today, maybe a million is attainable, and maybe I'll do it then, even if nobody else is still doing it. Although I'm not a very good artist, so I don't know if that would be a fantastic idea to do. But yeah, as I mentioned, I had end of the year sub goals in these videos and stuff like that, but this is kind of it for me. I don't really set goals like that for the channel anymore. I mean, this channel has allowed me to realize basically all of my goals. I mean, the place that I am today is everything that I've ever dreamt of, and far more when it comes to YouTube. I mean, I'm sitting here as I record this in the house that I share with Kyla on 14 acres of land. We've got Shadow, who you may have heard her whining just a second ago, our puppy, There's a creek out front to fish in. I mean, it's just everything that I ever could have wanted, and it came from YouTube. I think that's the most incredible thing. And again, something I never would have dreamed of. I was watching, as I said, the 1 year on YouTube video, and I talked about going to college, getting a degree, maybe to be able to get a good career. And that would have been what I kind of got into, whatever it was. Computer science is what my degree was going to be, and I wanted to, I guess, kind of have YouTube as a side hobby. I never would have dreamed that it would become my full-time job, and especially not that, I'd be sitting here having purchased a house and land, and what I want to get across is that that's you guys. I remember another quote that I used to mention a lot. Without you guys, I'm just a kid sitting here talking into a microphone, playing a hunting game, and in a lot of ways that's still true, but I never could have gotten to this point without YouTube and without you guys watching, so I really do appreciate it. It's been amazing to watch this community grow, and I don't think I can say enough words to really convey how much I appreciate everything you guys have done for me in this channel and the community as a whole. Going back to probably even before I had a channel, whether it was through the Hunter forums, I'm not sure. I definitely didn't have Discord. I'm not sure Discord was a thing. In fact, I'm certain Discord wasn't a thing when I started in Hunter. The community has always been incredible. It's not a community where veteran players kind of withhold their secrets or their spots or anything like that. It's a community where everyone more or less tries to share their information and help others, and it's just become a larger version of that, and that's what's so cool. And I always wanted, when I created the Discord, I didn't want it to be focused on me. I wanted to be like a community of like-minded individuals who enjoyed the Hunter or the Hunter Call the Wild or even hunting in real life, and it's so cool to have seen it grow into that. I mean, we've got the IRL hunting channels. Just the other day, someone was in there asking for advice, and it's just everybody, like, hey, try this, try that. I know you're getting into hunting. Maybe you can look into this particular strategy or anything like that. That's what I always wanted the Discord facet of the community to be, and I think it's just a reflection of this community as a whole. But like I said, YouTube has allowed me to basically be exactly where I want to be, and I guess in terms of videos and content and stuff, what that means is I can continue to do it as I do, because I still love making videos. I still love playing the Hunter and the Hunter Call the Wild. A lot of times, in stream chats, and live streams are another thing we'll get into in a little bit, you guys will ask, like, how do I not get bored of the Hunter or the Hunter Call the Wild? And I don't know exactly how I don't. I do a lot of things to try to switch it up, whether it is, changing what we hunt with, the different maps, multiplayer, single player. There's lots of stuff to do, but I just genuinely enjoy these games, and fortunately, I'm very fortunate to be able to do that as my job. And not only that, I get to film the hunts that I go on, and hunting has been the biggest passion of mine, gosh, since I was, 4 or 5 years old. I remember shooting my first squirrel, and we were in a good spot. My dad had taken me, and we were seeing a bunch of squirrels, but I shot that one, and he gave me the choice. Go back and show mom and my brother and sister, or stay there. And of course I had to go back because I was just so excited having shot a squirrel. And it's so cool now that I get to bring you guys along, not only on my hunts in the Hunter Classic and the Hunter Call the Wild, but also on my real life hunts. And it's been amazing as well. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the 2021 hunting content. That is coming very soon, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. You guys probably know I often write down notes for these videos, so that's a little later on, but fairly soon the 2021 season is going to start to drop on YouTube. But it's been an amazing thing to incorporate that, and in a way that's why I got into making videos on the Hunter and the Hunter Call the Wild. That was my way of filming my hunts, I guess, the best I could do. But now I really get to do it, and it's really cool to actually see that all come together. But You know, I was thinking back over, when you're a kid, you always get asked, like, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I can remember all sorts of different things, from wanting to be a train conductor, like when I was in kindergarten, to being a farmer. My dad is a hobby farmer, still does it. And then maybe less realistic goals, such as being a football player. Turns out being 5'8" doesn't really suit you well for playing in the NFL. And then eventually, as I kind of started looking at going to college, becoming a computer scientist or a programmer, or even an engineer was another route that I considered going. And all those different things were, at least at the time, again, maybe some of the less realistic ones, in a wild dream kind of sense. They were things that I genuinely wanted to do, but there was always this thing from when I was extremely young. I can remember watching, I want to say it was a Drury Outdoors production, like Whitetail Madness or something like that, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, these guys get to, I don't know if at that time they were necessarily, hunting as a job, but that was the way that I looked at it at, goodness, 4 years old or something like that. So, with it originally, as I said, kind of, for lack of a better term, filming my own hunts in The Hunter, that was where I kind of got started in doing that, and I just thought that was neat. And then, of course, getting into self-filming and filming my actual hunts, the real-life hunts, that being on YouTube, that was definitely the beginning of getting to do a little bit of that dream that's been in existence for 20 years. But for those of you that are unaware, our show that's been on YouTube for the last couple of seasons now, Meat Hunters, that is going to air on Wild TV, which is a television network. I know they air in Canada and some places in Europe. They also have a streaming service, so I'll explain a little bit about that just since I'm getting into it. Those episodes are also going to air on YouTube, so if you're worried about, you don't have Wild TV, you'll still be able to watch those videos. But that is the delay of the 2021 season actually airing on television. And, 7 years ago, getting into YouTube, you could not have convinced me. It doesn't matter what evidence you would have shown me or anything, you never could have convinced me that getting into YouTube was going to allow me to actually have hunts air on TV. And I don't know if it's going to become something bigger than a season or two. We'll see where it goes, but it's just, again, you guys on this small little The Hunter channel that I used to record videos in my bedroom, in the basement, old videos when I didn't record audio, on the couch in the living room of my parents, then into the apartment, and now in the office room here at the new house. For you guys to support this channel the way you have for all these years, that is what has allowed me to do this, and to reach a point where my hunts could end up being on television. And I am really curious to see how they go, and I'm hoping for the best, obviously. I'm really excited. I've edited just about everything. I think it's turned out great, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Probably more so in the YouTube comment section than anything, but maybe some of you that are able to watch on Wild TV in the Discord or even in live stream chats and stuff. I just want to see what people think and how it ends up going over. But that, again, from way back watching hunting shows, and I hope I'm not calling it the incorrect title and saying Whitetail Madness. I'm almost sure that's what it was. To actually be doing that, even if it's for one season, but I hope it's for, many, it's mind-boggling to me that YouTube and making videos on a hunting game could lead to that. And, I have to thank Kyla and what she has done, even in just finding this particular place to talk about some more real-life aspects for a bit that'll tie in. When I was looking to move out of my apartment and to get a house, I wasn't really looking for land that much. I was looking for maybe like I don't know, a half acre or something, just to shoot my bow outside, just to be able to stay practiced, because at my apartment I couldn't do that. And however she did it, she was visiting for, I think it was the 4th of July, it must have been, and she found this place. And again, for those of you that don't know, in December, I shot my biggest buck ever. It's actually the second biggest non-typical whitetail ever shot in this county, which is nuts. Net non-typical score of 171 3/8, a gross score of 180. I mean, all that. I have to give Kyla credit for finding the place to begin with, but everything, like, none of that is possible without you guys and your support for this channel and the community. And you know, it's never going to be lost on me what you guys have done and how much you guys have impacted my life in the most positive of ways. But I just want you guys to know that it's not lost on me, that I really do appreciate it, and that I don't look at it as something I've done. I look at it as something we have done, genuinely, as this community continues to grow and continues to exceed every expectation I could ever possibly have. I mean, like I said, in that, I actually went and watched my 1,000 subscriber video as well. That was a separate video where I talked about this, but I even said, like, I never thought the channel would reach 1,000, and that's absolutely true. You know, not a lot of channels in this genre did. And, you know, here we sit at 326,000, I believe it is. Just, it's amazing to watch it, and you know, I've talked about it as well. Like, I don't obsess, I would say, over like the subscriber counts or view numbers anymore. There was a time, and I think a lot of newer content creators probably do have this kind of phase where you check every 30 minutes, you know, how many views the video had, did I gain any subscribers? I remember doing it all the time. I mentioned this story as well in, I think it was last year's video, but I would, when I worked at the college that I attended and eventually dropped out of, I would work every Sunday. My videos used to come out Tuesdays and Saturdays, but due to poor internet at my parents', it would be more like 1 a.m. on Sunday when I would get the video out. So I'd go to work, and every break I got them, I'm getting my phone, I'm checking, like, has this video hit 100 views yet? That was the number that I just, you know, really hoped every video would hit 100 views. It's amazing to see the community go from that to the point that it is now. But yeah, like I said, it's not the type of thing that I worry about that much. Now, do I check analytics and stuff? Absolutely. As a content creator, you have to, because if you want to continue to grow and continue to honestly put your best foot forward in content, you have to at least pay attention to analytics and see what audiences respond to, because I want to make content that you guys want to see first and foremost. And I think my content these days is a reflection of that. I don't do, you know, too much stuff that's maybe less popular. I still do the Hunter Classic videos, and it is a natural thing that they're going to be a bit less popular than Hunter Call the Wild videos, but, you know, we still do them. It's the game that started this channel, and I still love it all these years later. I mean, just killing the 200 whitetail recently definitely kind of reaffirmed my addiction to this game. I've been playing it more so in my free time now than I have in, my goodness, 4 or 5 years probably. It's been a big change, but still really, really cool. And, you know, the game stands up well for a game that was made in, I guess it was made in like 2008, released in 2009. It's still a great game. I still enjoy it, but, you know, I always want to make sure that I'm making content still that you guys want to see, and I try to keep the Hunter Classic content varied as well. Lots of whitetail hunting as of late, trying to get that 200, but at least between maps and loadouts and stuff. Maybe for those of you that don't play Classic, but even those that do and have for a long time, I think switching it up makes it more entertaining to watch, and for me it makes it more entertaining to play as well. But that more or less kind of wraps up my notes. I know I mentioned this at the beginning. The last thing in my notes is the thing where I mentioned in 2016, my 1 year on YouTube video, that I was excited for college and where that was going to lead and trying to get a good career. and I don't know. I always wonder, like, is this what I'll always do? I hope it is. I really do. I absolutely love, you know, waking up every day. All right, what am I going to record today? Where are we going? What map are we going to? Or, you know, especially on days where I already have it figured out, I just can't wait to get started on a hunt and just kind of see where it takes you. Again, I feel like I'm a broken record when I talk about some of this stuff, but, you know, every year, I think we're at 250-something thousand. I usually mention it every video. I didn't mention it in 2021, so I don't know exactly what the subscriber count was a year ago, but, you know, there's a lot of new faces around the community since I made that last video, so I feel compelled to tell some of those same stories again. But this really is my dream job. This is what I love to do. Back in, I guess it was last year's video, I talked about my major in college was going to be, since I dropped out, I guess it doesn't really stick, but it was going to be computer science. And the reason that I got into it to begin with, and it was from some courses in high school, I just really enjoyed the creative aspect, you know, making a new program from scratch, all that stuff. And eventually it kind of became clear to me that that wasn't all that computer science is. You know, there's a lot of maintenance and stuff like that. I didn't even know that was a glacier bear. Funny enough, we shot a glacier bear in the first ever one of these. 69 GM too, nice. But yeah, as it became clear to me that it wasn't all, you know, making stuff from scratch and creation and stuff, the concept of doing that for a living just kind of wasn't as appealing to me anymore. But that is what content creation is, whether it's live streams or YouTube videos, or I guess any other form of content, TikTok or whatever it is that is out there for these games. It's making something new from scratch every day. You know, I hit start recording, I record with OBS, and the first thing you see is recording, and then it's what it would be 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Starting fresh every time, every day, and I just love it. I love that fresh slate. That's a big reason I do a lot of multiplayer in Call of the Wild. It's the unknown. It's what's over the next hill or around the next corner or anything like that. It still is just so much fun for me to come out and do this 7 years later, and I certainly hope 7 years in the future. Another glacier black bear, by the way. But, you know, like I said, I don't know if this is going to be what I do forever or if it'll, you know, eventually morph into something else, but I certainly think I'll stay in something in this genre, whether it is hunting gaming or, you know, maybe meat hunters and filming my real life hunts is going to take off. Whatever it is, if it's content creation and being creative, it's certainly what I hope to do literally forever. So we'll see where it goes, definitely, but I am as motivated and as excited as ever to keep on doing this. And like I said, even in the Hunter Classic specific side of things, and I'm sure, you know, those of you that are more interested in Classic will be happy to hear this, but I've been having so much fun with Classic again. Sat on Whiteheart Island today and got like 35 kills with a longbow, trying to get to 1,000 harvests with that. Just lots of fun, and I definitely cannot wait to see where things go from here. But of course, you can probably guess if you haven't checked out the little time progress bar at the bottom of the video. Shooting those blacktail with a gun is signaling the end of this video, and I do just want to say a huge thank you to you guys once again. 7 years on YouTube, whether you've been here for the entire 7, whether this is your first video, or anything in between, just thank you so much for all the support, whether it is watching the videos, the live streams, clicking the like button, sharing videos, all of it means the world to me. It all helps, and it has just, you know, I guess the theme of this video, it's allowed me to get to a place that I never thought I would. To kind of wrap up here, one thing that I say or said in a lot of these old videos is that I have no idea what I'd be doing if it wasn't YouTube. And I think there's a Luke Combs song that made me realize that it would probably be exactly this. I think the song is called Doing This. I'm not 100% certain. I certainly hope I got that right. I'll put it on the screen if I got it wrong. But the concept is, like, I'd still be doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, whether it's in front of, you know, 10 people or 1,000 people. And maybe I wouldn't be making the same amount of YouTube content, maybe I wouldn't be making the same amount of live streams, but, you know, as I talked about in 2016, I wanted to, you know, go to college, get a career, and see where that would take me, and continue to do YouTube as a hobby, and I think that's exactly what I'd be doing. I'm just fortunate enough that you guys have been so supportive that I can do it as my career and as my job. So once again, thank you guys so much for that. Thank you for watching this video, and I also wanted to say, a little late on this, those of you that are stuck around, I certainly appreciate it. We just crossed 100 million views on this channel in the last week or so. That's an unbelievable number, and again, just far more than I can wrap my mind around, but I just want to thank you guys again for endless support to reach that point, and I can't wait to keep on going, keep on making content, and watch this community continue to grow and thrive. But on that note, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys all so much once again, and I'll see you in the next one.